Hercule Poirot, I've found something. I've looked at it from every which way. I am the smartest person I ever met, and I can't figure it out, so I came to the second.
You are up to something, my friend.
I've seen a million of these so-called psychics, each one a fake.
I do not believe in psychics.
Come with me to a seance. Spot the con I can't.
Detective, you are here to discredit me, but I can talk to the dead.
I'd give all I have to hear my daughter's voice.
If someone wants to be heard, we are here. Listening.
Mama? Felicia? What is happening?
You can't trap us here.
Somebody is dead. No one shall leave this place until I know who did it.
A ghost killed her.
There must be a rational answer for all of this.
Just admit that you are up against something bigger than you.
You were saying?
Something in this house tried to kill me.
Don't look at me like I'm a suspect. We're old friends.
Every murderer is somebody's old friend.
No one shall leave until I find if the living have been killed by the dead.
You have been hiding here all this time.
Who are you talking to?
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for A Haunting in Venice. It's your boy Kuya P. This Nerds Rule the World. And as you see on the screen, she's not a ghost. But maybe with the lighting, I guess. My pal Heather Hurt.
Real white. I am real white.
How are you today, Heather?
It's another day.
Another day. Well, another review for us, Heather. As of this recording, y'all, we had just seen this film. We screened it the night before. Left us with a lot of different feelings. So before we kick it off with our review, what were your initial thoughts after? I think we were pleasantly surprised with the trailer before we had any inkling of, seeing this film. What did you think, if you can put yourself back into that framework? Because we actually just recorded, our show. If you see the trailer, it's kind of, maybe misleading. I don't know. What did you think, if you can put your framework in mind of how you were before we headed off to see this movie, Heather?
To be honest, I was kind of not super. I was surprised by the trailer because it seemed actually good. Compared to the first two films of the Poirot series, I didn't care at all for either of the first two films. Murder on the Orient Express. If you haven't read the book, read it. There is some racism. There's a little bit of outdated racism in the story, but it's but it's a fun book. It's a fun true crime story. But it's one of those where it's like I wasn't super excited. I was interested to see, one of the murder stories done in a haunted kind of way and see how they would do it. And yeah, about as far as I got.
Okay. So that was your feelings on Murder and on the Orient Express, and then Death on the Nile. That didn't grab you at all either. Pretty much the same vein of feelings.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, this trailer, I thought it was a great trailer. It looked awesome. My girl Michelle Yeoh was in it. Love to see my people's working. So happy to see her in there. Kenneth Branagh, man, he's a great actor. Some of the other actors in there kind of recognized, but it was a different kind of a cast. So didn't have the star power like the other two films you talked about. But the spookiness, the thrillerness of it was really well done in that trailer. Looked really good. I loved as a filmmaker, the shot angles, the creative shots, images looks really good. So I was ready for it. And so now to lead into us seeing this film, as I said to you right before we started screening it, like, man, I wish I would have saw the first two films. Little did I know my feelings would change later. Although now that we're talking, I don't know. Please tell me, it's kind of creeping into like, just to be a thorough, give everything the whole benefit it out. I'm my mind is like half splitting. Maybe you should just go check it out. And the reason being is I didn't see the first two films, and the first one with Meridian Orient Express. Yeah, Orient has always been a rug for me, and I just have never loved that name. So it always kind of twitches a nerve. But the star power of it made me want to see it. And knowing about Agatha Christie, you know, it's one of the most, it's if you're a reader, you know that you've heard of that title. So it had those elements where great cast, star power, known thriller book, famous. But I just didn't get around to it, you know, and maybe that's just because I think y'all know I'm overworked. A lot of things that Heather and I do, we're so busy, so it's just time. But I didn't get around to seeing it, but it's on the things to do list. Same thing with Death of the Nile. I love me some Gal Gadot, you know, and had a little bit more star power there as well. But again, didn't get to it. So I felt in a way, because I know this character, and you kind of broke down the character of Poirot that Branagh plays a little bit, Heather, is in all those films. So that's why I was like, Heather, I think I need to see the other two, but we're already here. We're going to watch it. Let's do it. But then little did I know things would change. So I'm going to toss it over to you now, Heather. We watched this film. Yeah, it was a film, Heather. We
definitely were in a movie theater, and we were not watching a screen with moving pictures on it. You're talking about the camera angles, where some camera angles are really cool. Some of the visuals were really misleading. Like, there were a lot of really cool elements of horror in this film. And there were some great jump scares, probably some of the best jump scares we've seen in a while in movies in general. But that was it. There were some of the camera angles. They needed to learn how to use a stabilizer. Would have been great if they did that. But other than that, like, if you want to see a movie that you're excited about, don't let a critic get in your way of that. Because my thing is that the good news is I don't have anything necessarily bad to say. Was the movie a little bit boring? Yeah. But I don't necessarily have anything bad to say, but I don't have anything good to say either. So I guess there's some positives there. It's not an awful movie. Do I think you should pay money for it? Wait till it hits streaming. That's kind of the end of my statement there.
Yeah. You know what? I would echo that as well, Heather. I think the first thing I said to you as we were walking out is I got bored, and I didn't want to get bored. And I don't normally get bored. I can be tired as I'll get up. But when I start watching a movie, I get energized. Mm-hmm. I get into the story that's playing out before my eyes, and it reinvigorates me a little bit. This one didn't do that, unfortunately. There was moments where I started to get invested. When my girl Michelle Yeoh was finally hitting the screen, I started getting in there. Well, actually, no, I can go back to the beginning. There's some cool visual elements. Again, I think the DP, the camera work was fantastic. But also, though, I can see, because to your point, that when we were talking a little bit afterwards, it can also possibly take you out of the story, you know, in its energy and its flow, and be distracting. Like you said, you wish they had a stabilizer. So I can understand the inventiveness of film can also, if it's not done right, can throw people off if they're not wanting that or ready for that. Yeah. And so again, visually amazing. It should have maybe had been subtitled jump scare, because agreed with you. I completely agree. A lot of damn jump scares. It's like we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And we saw it in Dolby. So that sound kind of emphasized those a little bit. So if you like being scared out your ass, or just having the boom come up your ass from the Dolby, go see it in Dolby. That was kind of cool and funny and stupid all at the same time. But yeah, I think my other critique, if anything, would be I felt this was very indulgent of Kenneth Branagh. I think I told you that too. He's the producer on this. He's the director, star. He has fun. Branagh is an amazing actor. But like, I couldn't understand him a little bit. I know he was putting on an accent. The character, I think, is Belgian, Finnish, or whatever. And at certain times, maybe it was because we also saw it in Dolby, and the levels of the sound, just I couldn't understand it. Maybe his sound got too low, or just the way he was doing the accent. I like, what the hell did he just say? And even some of the other people in there that did great jobs too. The great cast, although the little boy's kind of creepy young man there. But if he did his job, yeah. So that just some of that just kind of took me out of it in different respects. And with Michelle, yeah, I thought there'd be a little bit more to see. Yeah, I don't want to spoil. But yeah, just she grabbed me when she finally came on, but then it kind of faded away, if you will, and just different plot elements. I didn't. This is a whodunit thriller, you know, and you're supposed to get invested into the mystery and figuring things out. But I didn't care as well for the characters we were watching, whether or not they did it or not. And then Branagh posts this, you know, with his Poirot character, supposed to solve everything. I couldn't care. And he didn't even care about solving the thing until the very end. It was ingrained in the character. He was apparently there on retirement when Tina Fey brings him into this whole seance thing to be a part of this thing. And he didn't even want to do it. And then his character has this arc of starting to figure out, then he gives up, and then he comes back in the end. It was very weirdly written. But I know there's an audience for this. There's a lot of Agatha Christie lovers. But from what I understand, the other two films weren't all that big. They didn't get a lot of box office and were largely forgettable, if I'm not mistaken, right, Heather?
Yeah. So
yeah, I guess I had a lot to say, Heather. We were both talking.
I got nothing. So you can keep talking. You got an interview in 2 minutes, but keep going.
Yeah, but don't take our word for it. There's certain films for everybody. If this is fun for you, I'm happy for you. But this is our opinion. Take it whether you're not. It's what we do here. And, you know, if you connect with it, cool. If not, it's all good. It's all love. We're all sharing. I'd like to know what you thought about it. If you understood what Kenneth Branagh was doing, and you just love everything Branagh. It was overindulgent for me, and boring, unfortunately. And I was ready to be thrilled and excited. I just want to also add that if you're afraid of, I think the trailer is misleading in a different ways. Having just rewatched it with Heather, that the trailer looks awesome, but this film didn't give the payoff. And if you're worried because of the trailer, like, oh, you're gonna be super scared, very horror, I think anybody can watch this, Heather. I don't think I think you'd be fine PG-13. You know, I don't know what the rating is offhand, but there's not a lot of violence. You don't see a lot of gratuitousness of, you know, I think it's perfectly fine and wasn't that scary. Even though there's a ton of jump scares, which I think is, while we emphasize there's a ton of jump scares, it's not a scare in that, like, you know, I don't know. I watch a lot of slashers, Heather, so I'm comparing this to horror slashers, and I think this is perfectly fine.
It's fine. It's not scary.
Yeah.
It's not scary.
All right, Heather. That's all I have to say. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to say a lot, but I guess I had more feelings, but I don't know. And now I'm on the edge again. Like I said earlier, do I want to see Death on the Nile and Murder? I don't know.
No.
Stay tuned, Heather. I'll probably call you. Heather, guess what? I just decided to watch it. It was on. I'm going to watch it now. Fuck it.
Okay. All right, fine.
All right, Heather, if they want to talk A Haunting in Venice and haunt you with their feelings about this film, how can they reach out to you?
Sure. If you want to tell me how wrong I am, reach out to me at Nerd is a Heather on Twitter and at Heather is a Nerd on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky.
There you go. Show love to my pal Heather. Don't haunt her too long. She's good people's. For me, it's the legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, and of course here with Heather and the whole squad at the NRW and Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Those are our thoughts, our feelings on A Haunting in Venice. Let us know your thoughts and haunt us in the comments below, y'all. Peace. All right, y'all, what's going on? Your boy Kuya P, Heather Hertz. We just got out of the press screening for Haunting in Venice.
Yeah.
Heather, what are your thoughts coming out of A Haunting in Venice?
I got free alcohol.
We did. We got tickets for free beer and wine. Kind of says something if they want to liquor you up a little bit right before, maybe.
We were sitting in a theater.
Yes, we sat in a theater and watched the film.
We watched a movie.
Yes.
That was part of a series.
Yes. Death. A lot of death. I was dying inside.
You know what? I will give you one positive. There's actually some pretty good jump scares in this movie.
You know what? This film should be called the jump scare movie.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Really.
Thumping, especially in Dolby, because we did see this in Dolby. That boom, thump really kind of hits the point on a jump scare. But we're going to have a lot of thoughts. We're almost done with this. Check out the NRW for our full recap. We'll be talking about on WTOP. A lot of things to say. Mm-hmm. Yes, this is just me now. And notice the tear. That's how I'm closing it out on this one.